Before this honey reaches your breakfast table, it survives fire, smoke, height, and risk. Most people just see a jar. Today, you're going to see everything. The real raw process of harvesting wild honeycomb straight from the trees, all the way to the moment it's ready to drizzle on your morning toast. This is the journey nobody shows you. So let's begin straight from the source. It all begins deep in the mountains, far from roads, far from villages, in terrain most people will never set foot on. Honey hunters trek for hours through dense forest and steep slopes, searching for one thing, a wild beehive, hidden high above the ground, built into the side of a tree where few would dare to climb. This isn't guesswork. These hunters know the forest. They know where bees build, where the light hits just right, where the air is calm enough for a hive to grow undisturbed for months. And after careful searching, they finally lock onto their target. Using dry wood and green leaves, they build a thick, slow-burning fire, one designed not to blaze, but to smoke. Thick, heavy smoke that rises up through the branches and drifts straight into the hive. Why smoke? Because in nature, smoke means only one thing to a bee colony: fire is near. And bees don't fight fire. They prepare to survive it. The moment they sense smoke, an ancient instinct kicks in. The bees don't attack or swarm in defense. Instead, every bee begins gorging itself on honey, preparing for the possibility that they may need to abandon the hive. And it's exactly what gives the honey hunters their window of opportunity. With the bees distracted, the climb begins. One hunter makes his way up the tree, bare hands, careful footing, surrounded by a cloud of bees. Every move is slow and deliberate. One wrong move could mean stings, or a long fall. Reaching the hive, he begins the delicate process of separating the comb from the tree, cutting it free at just the right point, supporting its weight, making sure it doesn't drop suddenly or break apart before it's secured. And then, it falls. Down below, his partner is already in position, ready to catch the moment the comb comes loose. Working quickly but carefully, he begins slicing the hive into smaller, more manageable sections: honey, wax, and comb all together, placing each piece gently into a plastic bag to make sure not a single drop is wasted on the forest floor. This is teamwork built on trust. One man above, risking the climb, one man below, making sure none of that risk goes to waste. Once every section of the hive has been collected, the real journey home begins. The honeycomb is packed, secured, and loaded onto motorbikes the only way through the narrow mountain trails. The ride back is just as careful. One wrong bump, and hours of work could spill onto the road. Finally, after the long trek down from the mountains, the harvest arrives at the processing site, where the real transformation begins. Here, an expert takes over. With practiced hands, they go through the harvested comb piece by piece, carefully removing any dead or unconscious bees that may have been collected along with the honey, making sure that what eventually reaches your table is pure, clean, and completely natural. Back at the site, the comb is placed inside a fine cloth one with tiny holes, just small enough to let the honey pass through while holding back the wax and solid bits behind. Then comes extraction. The comb is pressed, squeezed, and strained, drawing out every last drop of golden honey hidden inside the wax. Nothing is rushed, nothing is wasted. The goal isn't speed, it's purity. And once that final drop has been collected, the honey is ready, ready to be bottled, ready to be shipped, ready to sit on a shelf, in a kitchen, on a breakfast table, completely unaware of the mountains, the smoke, the climb, and the risk that went into making it.